It's a beautiful fall morning. You can see the fall colors are out in the trees around me. And I'm here in the greenhouse that I've been restoring. And today is the day, November 15th, that I'm going to be starting a lot of Japanese maple seeds that I've been collecting over the last several weeks. So follow along with me as I take you through my process of starting these Japanese maple seeds. Of course, as you know, if you've been following this channel for any period of time, you know that I love to start Japanese maples from seed. A lot of these I will grow out to trees that I'll sell. And then some of them I'm going to use for a rootstock to graft onto as well. So follow along with me as I start these seeds. During the spring and summer months, you'll start seeing the samaras, or Japanese maple seeds, forming. And here in the fall is when they are fully ripe and ready to pick. So today is November 8th. And as you can see, these Japanese maple seeds, or samaras, they're pretty dry. And they're actually starting to fall off of the tree a little bit. And so this is the time when you want to pick them. I live in a zone 8, and so it may be a little earlier or a little later depending on your zone, but definitely in the fall with an Acer palmatum Japanese maple is when the seeds are going to be ready. If you pick them before then, they likely won't be viable, but if you pick them now, then they should be good viable seeds. This particular tree here, I believe, is a bloodgood. It was already here when we moved in, so I'm not completely sure, but I'm pretty certain it's a bloodgood. And most of the seedlings that I've grown out have come from this particular tree. So this has been a good producer for me, and it's produced a lot of unique trees. I'll be starting my seeds here on these tables that I've built, but before I do that, I just want to give a quick update on this greenhouse that I've been restoring. You can see here on the sides now that I do have the border in, and then I've been building these benches here. And basically I just built a real basic frame with 2x4s. These are 8 feet long and roughly 32 inches wide, which is enough to fit 3 of the 1020 trays. And then I just have this wire fencing that I've stapled to it. And then I have it setting on cinder blocks. It's a good way to just quickly build benches and get them ready here. And this particular greenhouse can fit a total of 12 of these 8-foot benches. And so I have more to build here. Currently I have 6 of them built, and so I still have 6 more to build. And that'll fill out this greenhouse. I'm not going to put greenhouse plastic on this just yet, because I want these seeds, as I'll talk about, to go through the natural winter stratification process. With that being said, I do have my soil mix here. What I did is I just took a bag of potting soil, which is G&B Organics potting soil, and I mixed that with some of the peat and perlite mix that I've been doing cuttings in, because I have a lot of that. So I just mixed that together, and I got that in this wheelbarrow here. And then over here, I just have a number of these seed trays. They have a lot of holes on the bottom. And I especially love these trays. These trays are ideal. They're nice and heavy duty, but I have some of the lighter duty trays just using what I have available. And I'm going to put soil in these directly, sow the Japanese maple seeds in them, slightly cover them, and then mark them for what they are. I have that side, and I got a bunch of trays across this side. I have quite a few Japanese maple seeds, which are also called samaras. So for example, this particular bag of samaras is from a tree in my yard, and I believe it to be a bloodgood. So I got quite a few of those seeds, but I also have a mix of a bunch of different other seeds. For instance, on this property here is a Makawa Yatsubusa. Okay, first I need to go ahead and fill these trays about 3/4 full with soil, and then I'll come back and start sowing the seeds. This scoop I'm going to be using is available on Amazon. I've talked about it in the past. I will put an affiliate link down below in the video description if you'd like to pick one up. And Amazon does give me a commission off your purchase if you buy it with my link at no extra cost to you. But this is a really helpful tool for scooping soil. It's technically made for scooping like feed for animals, but it works really well for soil. It's made out of galvanized metal, and I just love to use this. So once again, this is a must-have tool if you're doing a lot of potting and things like that, and I will link to it down below. So pretty simple process. Once again, I'm just going to fill these about 3/4 full And then I'm just simply going to sprinkle the Japanese maple seeds on the top and then slightly cover them. Okay, I'm going to start with these Makawa Yatsubusa Japanese maple seeds. Of course, Makawa Yatsubusa is a variety that a lot of people love. I love it as well. It's a dwarf variety, and the leaves just grow really densely and close together, kind of like a shingling effect. Pretty amazing. Now, as a reminder, when you grow Japanese maples from seed, I'm not necessarily going to get trees that are 100% true to the Makawa Yatsubusa variety. I'll get variations of that. So when you grow Japanese maples from seed, you get genetic variation. If you want a true Makawa Yatsubusa, you need to most likely graft that. Cuttings is a method that I have success with some varieties, to root cuttings and grow that out to a tree. But in most cases, a Makawa Yatsubusa tree that you buy is a scion that was cut off a Makawa Yatsubusa tree and grafted onto a rootstock. But nonetheless, I like growing them from seed because you do get a lot of different variation with the trees. But nonetheless, when it comes to sowing this, yes, you could take each one of these seeds and put it in a cell tray and do that. But instead of that, I'm just going to pour these out and kind of evenly spread them over 2 of these trays, at least 2 to 3, probably 2 because there's not a ton of seeds here. And then I'll mark them for what the seeds were. And then hopefully by the time we get to around May of this coming year, 2024, a lot of these will have sprouted, and then I will dig these up once they get their true leaves and they're kind of developed and they have a decent root system. I'll dig these up and individually pot them. But for now, this is going to be the fastest way to start these. Now, I do want to mention as we start seeds here, yes, you can take these seeds and put them like in a moist towel, a moist paper towel or something like that. Stick them in a plastic bag, don't seal it, but like a plastic bag like this. Stick it in your refrigerator and you could get them to germinate that way. Japanese maple seeds do need to have a cold stratification process. They need to go through the cold winter. I live in a zone 8. It gets cold enough here in the winter that I really don't need to go through that process. If you live in a warmer environment, or say you're starting your seeds not in the fall, then you can do the refrigerator stratification. But if you're sowing your Japanese maple seeds in the fall and you live in an area that gets decently cold winters, you can just let nature stratify them just by leaving them out in the elements and doing it like I'm doing here, sowing the seeds in a seed flat. So this isn't anything too fancy. I'm just going to make sure that they are somewhat evenly spread. It actually looks like I might be able to get this in 3 different trays. I don't want to do these insanely dense, but I don't want to waste space either. We'll see. Maybe 2, maybe 3. We'll see what that looks like. I can always spread them around a little more. This method also helps if for some reason you have a lower germination rate, which hopefully I won't, but then you don't waste a bunch of cells and space starting them. This is the best way, I believe, to start lots of seeds. I think I'm going to go ahead and do this in 3 different trays. And move some of these over to this tray so it's more even. Okay, now that these seeds are somewhat spread out, I'm going to go ahead and put just a light layer of soil over the top of this. You don't need to plant these really deep or anything. You just basically want them covered. Okay, the next variety that I'm going to be sowing is a Sango Kaku. I believe that's how you say that. I've said Sango Keku in the past. But this is a beautiful coral bark maple, and I'm curious to see if any of these will come up true to the mother plant and have coral bark. This particular tree that I took these from had beautiful fall yellow leaves, so I'm excited to see how these do. Let's go ahead and get those sown. gonna try to get these spread out, as evenly as possible. Doesn't matter too much, because I'll be separating these out later. And some of these are still kind of connected to the little stem where it grew in a cluster. Try to break those up as much as possible. I don't want to just sit here and try to break it all apart and spend too much time. This is a good quick way to just get as many started as possible. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and sow seeds in the rest of these flats in the same manner, and then I'll check back in with you. Okay, so I have all those seed flats sown across there. And I have these all sown right there. You can see I have tags for each one, letting me know what it is. Most of these are Acer palmatum, but I did have some Acer japonicum seeds that I sowed, and also some Acer orientale that's in this particular one. And I'll talk more about that tree later, but that's a really cool, kind of rare Acer maple variety, but Acer orientale. So I'll talk more about that, but so good big step. Next time I come, I plan to build more benches, and I planted up most of the seed that I had, but I still have a little bit more, so I may start a teeny bit more seed. I ran out of soil from what I brought here, and I wasn't able to fill that square and that square, but I'll be able to fill that later. And then I have some other things that I plan to put in these seed flats here as well. Well, thanks so much for following along with me. Until next time, thanks for watching.